Live from the Carl Chevrolet Studios in West Des Moines, this is Iowa Live.
Welcome back to the program, everybody. Looking outside, boy, is it gorgeous and very nice to talk to Professor Jeff Stein. He's over in the Waterloo area. Professor Stein, how are you today?
I am tremendous, Lou. Hope you are the same.
Yeah, do you have the sunshine over in the Waterloo area as well?
Well, we're still pretty cloudy over here, but just hearing your voice brightens the whole day.
Oh, you are exaggerated. But anyway, you know, when we talk, Professor Stein, a lot of times we talk about famous people that are from Iowa that people may not realize are from Iowa. Tomorrow's going to be a perfect example of that. But a lot of times people don't realize how many baseball players and good baseball players come from Iowa, and that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, I think the current issue of Iowa History Journal mentions 200 native Iowans have played in the major leagues. That's an awful lot. Not me, certainly. A lack of talent got in the way, but that was not the case for a young man named Urban Clarence Faber. Young Faber was a child in Cascade, and at that time his father managed a tavern and ran the Hotel Faber in their hometown. Again, it's Cascade in eastern Iowa. Young Faber was known to all as Red. Quite athletic. By the age of 16, Lou, he was getting $2 just to pitch in Sunday afternoon baseball games in Dubuque. Now, that's a lot at that time.
Wow.
Sounds like radio wages today.
That sounds like
today.
That sounds like a current salary, yeah, doesn't it?
That'd be a step up. Red Faber, though, he had talent. He pitched in the major leagues for 20 seasons, all of them with the Chicago White Sox. Now, that did include the infamous Black Sox team from 1919, but we quickly note that Red was not involved in any of the game fixing. You see, he missed the World Series in 1919 due to injury and the influenza epidemic.
Yeah, but he was part of an earlier Sox team that did win the World Series, right?
Absolutely. At one point in 1917, during the season, he started and won 3 games in 2 days. 3 games in 2 days. And later that year in the World Series, he received pitching decisions in 4 games. That's a record that stands to this day. And, oh, by the way, he won 3 games in that year's World Series. Thank you very much. He actually won 254 games total in the big leagues, despite playing for some rather poor White Sox teams in the 1920s. When he retired in 1933, he was the last legal spitball pitcher in the American League. They outlawed the pitch, but if you were already throwing it, you were grandfathered in until you retired.
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Absolutely. If you still had the spitball in your repertoire, you could use it. And he used that until he was 45 years of age.
Wow.
That's when he retired. And to this day, he still holds the White Sox franchise record for most games pitched.
Wow, that's very, very impressive. Again, just doing, and I didn't know about the spitball deal. That is so cool. But he also devoted his time to charity too, didn't he?
Absolutely. Red Faber helped found Baseball Anonymous. Now, that's a charitable organization that helped former players who had run into financial or physical problems. Red Faber of Cascade, Iowa, was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1964. That was a dozen years before he passed on this date in 1976.
So Red Faber, whenever you mention famous baseball players from the state of Iowa, you think about Van Meter, but now you have to add Cascade, Iowa into that mix of one of the greatest pitchers in Major League Baseball history, isn't he?
Absolutely. In fact, Brian Cooper, a longtime Dubuque newspaperman, wrote a biography of Red Faber. Very interesting stuff.
Wow. So you might want to pick that up as well. And you also mentioned the Iowa History Journal. Talk about how many major leaguers came from the state of Iowa, which is an impressive number. You said over 200. Is that right?
As I recall the article, 200, including one from my hometown of Toledo by the name of Leonard King Cole. And he's the focus of the story in Iowa History Journal.
That is so cool. Now, if people want to go back and revisit some of the things that we talked about, of course, because we're close to being in October and when everybody gets really excited about baseball, where can they go and check out this information?
You give me about 30 seconds and I'll post it at iowaalmanac.com, iowaalmanac.com, and on the social media at Iowa Almanac.
Professor Jeff Stein, it's a pleasure as always, and we will talk to you tomorrow about another famous person from Iowa that you might not know about during the Iowa Almanac. Have a great day, everybody.